Hey guys, welcome to the Blizzard ANZ StarCraft 2 Pro League, brought to you by GameStar. It's the second night of this Team League action, and I am Zeph. With me today is my good friend Death, who'll be joining me throughout this tournament. Death, how you feeling, man?
Hey, buddy. Yeah, I'm pretty good. Pretty pumped for these games. Got a lot of energy, and I hope that the players can reciprocate that a little bit. It's actually a really big night for both of these teams. It's SYF's second game and OSC's first. But look, if SYF get off to a good start here and they clinch this win, I think we're going to be seeing them in the grand finals later on. So it's a big night this early in the tournament.
It certainly is. So if this is your first time joining us for the ANZ Pro League, we've got 5 teams playing in a round-robin style to grab themselves some wins on the board and hopefully go to the grand finals. And all teams are competing for a share of $3,500 US, which is a pretty decent prize pool, especially for a region that hasn't really had a proper team league for a while. I know we've had a couple. I think there's actually like an OSC related one going on at the moment. This is the first sort of Blizzard sponsored one we've had. So super awesome. If you missed Tuesday night's action, the VODs will be up on the GameStar channel. There is a bit.ly/watch ANZPL link that we have for you. Make sure to type it in all caps, and you can catch up with the action there between Legacy and SYF. And as Death mentioned, SYF already looking pretty good this season.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, it's OSC's first night. So to give you a little bit of an introduction to what OSC Elite are all about, they've got a bunch of up-and-coming players with a couple of big names in there as well. So we're going to be seeing players like Vivid, who, I mean, a lot of people have been saying that he's improved a lot this year. We've got Igers, who pretty much everyone knows. He doesn't need an introduction, but he's playing Zerg, and we've never seen him play Zerg in such a big league, in such a big setting. And players like Demilove, Illusory, and Fuely, who's a almost unknown player to me, that rounds out that lineup. So that's really cool. And on the SYF side of things, they've got, I think, probably the most well-rounded lineup in any of the teams in the tournament. Most of them can easily crack top 8 in WCS over in our region. So this could be a good one. What do you think about predictions, though, Zev? What would you sort of what's your heart and mind telling you about what's going to happen tonight?
Heart and mind, I've got to say, it's still with SYF. That is just such a solid lineup that they've got for tonight. I think OSC, obviously, they've got some really strong players in there. Vivid starting to get really good. Demi, one of the most diligent practices I've ever seen in StarCraft 2, got a really good mindset for improving as well. I guess really needs no introduction, as you mentioned, but he has race switched. So this is the first time I'm going to be casting his Zerg in a tournament. So keen to see what he has to offer there. I'm not sure his Zerg is at the same level as his Terran yet, though.
That'd be pretty tough.
Yeah, it's going to be tough to get there. And maybe Fuely will come and take the Terran torch off one of these top guys like Seether at the moment, because he's sort of popped up out of nowhere, much like a lot of the other Terran players who have come up after Igus in our region. He doesn't actually have a lot of competitive stats for us to even go off. He's mostly played in a couple of community tournaments. So really keen to see what he can do for OSC, but just purely based off results and experience, I've got to say SYF are looking really good.
If I had to ask you for a score prediction, what would you say?
Oh man, let's go with SYF 3-1. What about you?
Well, I was going to say SYF 3-1, but you know what? After looking at the lineup, thinking about it a little bit more, I think SYF 3-0.
3-0.
I would be impressed if OSC takes a map off these guys. You know, Crimson, ZVZ Monster, Igers, I don't think is going to be able to put up much of a fight against Mighty Kiwi. I'm happy to be proven wrong. And I feel like Seether is the kind of guy that style will be too difficult for Demilove to beat. But, I mean, we're about to find out as action is about to get underway here. Let's start the countdown and get things going.
Let's do it. Blackpink is going to be the first map of the day for a ZVZ. And in true ANZ/C fashion, got plenty of Zergs in the lineup today. I'm keen to see how how this all goes down as we load on into the match.
Not a single Protoss today.
Yeah, good. I'm kidding. I love my Protoss friends.
That's
Gosh.
racist, Seth. Jesus.
Stop freaking out, guys.
All right. So let's get things underway and start by introducing our players down here in the bottom left-hand corner of Blackpink in the red, playing for Team TTSYF Gaming. It's Crimson.
And in the top right, spawning in the blue trunks, representing OSC Elite, this is Vivid.
Alright, so far so good. No early pulls, both players making drones. Wouldn't be surprised to see both players open up with that fast expansion, trying to secure themselves a better economy and then gearing up for more mid-game oriented aggression.
Yeah, I mean, ZVZ in this region is typically quite violent, I'd say. A lot of Ling Bane fans in this region, and we do see a lot of that sort of quick third base with Ling Bane pressure happening. And we do see a lot of early pulls. There are some players that are repeat offenders of that, but when you have only one map to play, it's a little different, and I do think we'll see a lot less of that sort of risky ZVZ style of play and a lot more of this calm, expand, get your gas, get your pool before anything too nuts happens style of play on maps like Blackpink especially, which, you know, you have a decent rush distance there.
Yeah, it's not the fastest in the map, well, that's for sure. It's pretty standard. I'd imagine that speedlings take about 20-25 seconds to make it across the map. I mean, without timing it or anything, but there's definitely maps in the pool, you know, like Abyssal Reef and Odyssey, that would be a lot more conducive to play from players like Mighty Kiwi, for example, who absolutely love getting those early Zerglings out and just putting a lot of pressure, seeing if they can win the game in 3 minutes flat.
Yeah, very true. And I'm keen to see what tech routes these guys take, because it is largely Roach Ravager from what I've seen in the last couple of seasons of WCS still. But mutas are starting to creep back in a little bit. I haven't seen enough ZVZs to say whether or not they're actually popular at the moment. But it's something that we could see here. It looks like Vivid already opting to take a look at that third base location, grab himself a fresh new hatchery there, and we'll see if Crimson's not too far behind on that idea.
Yeah, looks like he's going to be going for that fast third as well, so both players with almost identical build orders at this stage. Crimson just one worker behind, so maybe Vivid just managed to eke out a small advantage at some stage. But as we say that, the Baneling Nest goes down from Crimson, and Vivid throws his down as well. Crimson with an extra pair of lings is going to make it a little bit difficult for Vivid to defend his hatchery here. And a little bit of micro back and forth. Nice micro from Vivid, who will eventually be able to clean this up.
Very nicely done. We'll deflect those lings and head on home. Sort of watching the production tab here to see if either one decides to make a big swell of lings. Vivid is producing a few more, and speed is about to kick in for him as well. Crimson's just slightly faster there. You do need a good amount of lings just to defend with, even if you're not really planning to attack at this stage of the game. And we also see the Baneling Nest coming in for that reason as well. Very nice scout there for Crimson though, actually.
Nice scout for both players. They'll be able to get in and see everything that's been going on. A couple of Banelings coming out for Crimson just to be able to defend if he needs to. He's actually moving them out of the map, which is a little bit curious because it gets a little bit dicey when you have to defend these against speedlings. Just one ling per Baneling, and an efficient trade for Crimson. Vivid actually looking pretty sweet at this point as both players put down their Roach Brines looking for that sort of next phase, that transition.
Hey, yes indeed. Crimson might be able to snag himself an Overlord, maybe, if he's lucky here. Otherwise, lots more drones coming down. Crimson going to be the first one to put a few more units out on the field in defense. He will actually snipe a queen there, so very well done by Vivid. A couple of Banelings morphing in here for safety. And a couple more coming up from the natural expansion. And with the amount of lings that Crimson actually just threw out, he could go for a bit of attack if he wants. Could also bring some roaches, but we'll see if he wants to maybe sit there and drone up that third a little bit more, or if he's actually going to go for an attack.
What was that baneling? That just exploded on the eggs that were being morphed in from Crimson. A couple of drones are being picked up as well. Actually, Zephyr, I gotta say, even though that Vivid is slightly behind in supply right now, that is mostly due to the roaches that Crimson has produced. And I love how Vivid's been playing the early game so far. He's actually managed to have better trades in general, and he's a few workers up. This is the sort of crucial time period though when Crimson can move across the map. A big connection coming down with that baneling, filling up a lot of the Zerglings, and now Crimson's coming in. What will he be able to achieve?
Oh lord, well he's actually making a lot of banelings. There's already 5 out and another 5 coming. And these banelings that Vivid's trying to morph on the front lines do get picked off with the help of the roaches and a single ling. He's backing up to his ramp, trying to save those queens and use them in the defense as well. These drones are right in the firing line here. But Crimson's looking for a good hit. He does get a bunch of drones and lings out of that. And we finally have some roaches coming out from Vivid.
Yeah, not bad at all. The extra banelings there, though, were a little bit of a waste, but he will be able to pick up that queen. And Crimson, nice micro. Morphing in those Ravager eggs means that they get so much armor, and they're very, very difficult for Vivid to kill. And now Crimson's up 20 supply. He's just going for it at this stage. It's definitely not all in. He could go back if he needs to, but he's doing a lot of damage, and this could honestly just overwhelm Vivid and win him the game straight away.
Yeah, it looks like that's what it's about to happen. Morphing Ravagers right in his face is Crimson. And he's just got too much here. Only more and more units streaming across the map to join the forces on the front lines. And Vivid is trying to hold on with whatever he has left. A couple of roaches, a few drones. He does have more roaches on the way, but is it going to be enough to clean this up?
Oh, it's going to be so close, Zeph, especially with all the other Zerg units streaming across the map from Crimson. But it looks like Vivid might just have enough. But at what cost? He's already down to 16 workers. So he might end up defending his base, but will he win the war? It's going to take something special from him to crawl out of the hole that he finds himself in.
Yeah, I mean, that's rough. He lost a couple of queens very early on in that engagement as well. So even if he had more money at his disposal, he really couldn't match the production of Crimson, who was just slamming units out across the field. And he's going to take a moment to regroup in the middle of the map here. He's actually started to go into some more tech, though. He's getting an Evo chamber, grabbing the lair. He's not bothering with any more drones because he knows he's so far ahead on that work account anyway. He may as well try and bludgeon his opponent to death, who still has very little going for him back at home.
Yeah, and it's just going from bad to worse for Vivid right now, as he can't actually mine anything at all. All of his drones are pulled off the line. He loses another queen, and there's still Zerglings in his base. Crimson more than double the supply. He's off to a flying start.
Yeah, definitely looks like it. And these roaches for Vivid are letting him hold on for the moment. But as more and more roaches come out for Crimson, he's going to find himself in a bit of trouble. And Vivid's in that awkward spot where he knows he's going to need some units to defend, but he also can't run on empty, right? So he has to pump out a whole bunch of drones. So hopefully he can hold on here to try and stay in the game. At this point, it's looking pretty dire. Crimson's got about, 23 roaches with a few Ravagers to the 11 roaches of Vivid.
74 or now 80 army supply to just 30. It's now a numbers game. This push is going to end the game, Zeph, and Crimson is going to lead his team to a 1-0 victory. But hopefully we get a spectacular fight here, as he's going to come up the ramp, and here we go. Vivid is immediately retreating his army up that tiny ramp, comes down, decides better of it. The Roach Warren is going down to his no more roaches that can be produced this game from Vivid, and Crimson's just going to inch his way forward, not worrying too much about microing his units. He's just got such an overwhelming force, and I think Vivid is just going to console himself with the inevitable defeat right now.
I mean, he's held on well, but it's just too much from Crimson. GG comes out, and Crimson puts 1 point on the board for SYF.
Very, very well played. And that's exactly the start that he wants. Uncle Ben does it again for his team. And what's that now? Like 2 wins straight away, back to back on Tuesday and Thursday night for Crimson. So very good pickup for SYF. They're going to be very happy that they've signed and re-signed Crimson throughout the year.
Yeah.
Like I was saying on Tuesday, Crimson is one of the players that's really impressed me with his continuing, like the evolution of his gameplay, and he is playing the best StarCraft this year of his career to date, by far.
Yeah, he certainly is. He's always looking so good. A lot of the guys that we're going to be seeing tonight and in the following nights are actually becoming really impressive. You know, a lot of these players are very consistent with their WCS results, and these sort of tournaments will only boost their performance further, I hope. So, cool. SYF put a point on the board. OSC Elite going to be looking for an even score in the next match. So we will take a quick break and set up Neon Violet Square for Seether versus Demi. Don't go away. We'll be back in a couple of minutes.